So I want to thank everybody for being here, the leaders of the faith community, everybody else who's interested in this, and I think we've got a pretty good group of folks here to talk about this today. This is not a happy occasion. I don't want anybody to be confused. I want to get up here and say I'm really happy to be doing this. The truth is, I wish we weren't doing this. You know, as somebody just going through a budget process and thinking of how many groups could have used $20,000 or $50,000 or $100,000, and knowing that because we have to keep people safe, we're doing this, but it takes money away from things that would make some of our communities stronger. So it's really imperative that we figure a way out of this at some point. There's got to be the ability to shift the temperature in the community so that communities aren't victims of hate. This cannot be normal. It cannot be normalized. It cannot be accepted. We have to figure out how we move beyond this. As Kate said, you know, that we are increasing what we spent last year. There's $900,000 in the immediate budget. There's $300,000 in the supplemental. It's in the supplemental because by county procedure, we don't count our FEMA reimbursements in the budget until we actually have them in our hand. So we have a letter, but the letter is not a check. And so we've put a number of grants in the, not just grants, but other programs, you know, into a supplemental until the check comes in. And the odd thing is the check could come any day. But so I do not worry about whether or not the $300,000 will be there because we are going to be getting the money. The funding is going to be used to hire security personnel, augment current personnel, pay for security and assessment plans, and conduct security planning, and develop and execute a security drill and purchase new cameras for the facility. And the funding requests, we had 150 applications this year, and there was a 38% increase over the ones from the year before. The requests totaled more than $2.8 million, which of course significantly exceeds the $900,000 set in the budget. 136 projects did receive funding, and the majority of the grant recipients are planning to hire security staff for the funds, often off-duty MCPD police officers, and about half of them are planning to use these for security cameras. Hate crime statistics from Montgomery County and Maryland continue to be troubling. On the 2022 report, the annual bias report, which is the most recent numbers we have, MCPD recorded 157 bias incidents in the county in 2022, nearly a 10% increase over the previous year. That's an average of 13 bias incidents a month, and race and religion continue to be the primary base motivators here. Following that is sexual orientation and ethnicity. And 91% of the incidents were motivated by religious bias, and they were anti-Semitic. 91% of the incidents are anti-Semitic, and despite the fact that Jewish people make up 10% of our population. And 74% of the incidents motivated by racial bias were considered anti-black, and 12% were anti-Asian. And we can probably thank Donald Trump for the last one. Unfortunately, it's not likely that this kind of crime is going to end, and as a community, we have to remain committed to helping our organizations that are targets of hate crime. And this funding is designed to help them reduce the burden of safety and security. We were able to act really quickly after October 7th. We made decisions pretty much instantaneously that we were going to put the funding out in the community. And I'm glad we did that. I'm glad that we haven't had to deal with anything horrific here. But I think part of people knowing that we're putting this money out there and we're trying to secure facilities lets people know that we're taking this seriously and we're trying to keep people safe. And so I'm hoping that it has, to some extent, a deterrent effect on people in the community who wish to do ill. But whether it's a deterrent effect or just, you know, we're fortunate not to have it, I'm glad we haven't experienced something terrible, but we're going to make sure that people have as much protection as they can so that they can feel safe and secure. No one should have to worry about what's going to happen to them, whether they're walking into a mosque, a synagogue, or a church, or whether they're walking down the street in a shawl or a yarmulke or any kind of ethnic dress that indicates that you're not a white American. So we need to do everything we can to make this a safer, better place. We're going to do our part to make sure that we provide resources that people need.